Hello and welcome to Shoreline Music Monthly. My name is Mark Koshwitz and we are now episode 93 of the little show where we bring you local songwriters, drop them in your living room, and just let you get a little listen. We did something new recently that I just want to mention. Shoreline Music Monthly News. We're doing short segments on local folks who are putting together events that use music to help charities, nonprofit organizations type thing. I had Pete Govert in from the East Haddam Land Trust to talk about their musical Bridges concert, where they raise money for the trust every year. And it's such a beautiful venue. They gave me a little clip of last year's that we wove in there. So it's on the VSC TV server in their on-demand section if you want to take a peek. It's also sprinkled hither and yon on their regular programming schedule. So again, it's Shoreline Music Monthly News, and this one was on musical Bridges. I'm going to get to business now. For this episode, we're very happy to have in the studio with me, I've got Seth Adams.
Howdy.
How are you, sir? Very good to see you.
What's going on?
Well, we're going to find out what's going on with you. So,
okay.
I'm going to throw it right back at you. Why don't maybe just walk us through like a little musical history? I mean, I saw you. I kind of read through some of your website. I see you were like started off as a rock band kind of thing as a teen.
Yeah, I mean, I was always into music. I had a mother who sang and a father who bought a guitar when I was very young, which was actually the catalyst for me to start playing, because I was a latchkey kid, so I was home alone at second, third, fourth, fifth, and before my father got home, I would go under his bed and take his guitar out and pluck around on it and then put it back before he came home from work, until finally, I think it's fifth or sixth grade, I gathered the courage to tell him that I wanted to play guitar, that I had been playing his. And my very first guitar was a Sears guitar and amp from Sears.
Nice.
But then I just kept on getting...
Was he okay with it? I mean...
Oh, yeah, he was good. Okay. My mother sang, so I always sang. Throughout elementary school, I was in the chorus and always involved in music. I had a grandfather who played piano and sang opera. And throughout middle school, I started to kind of formalize my training. I studied drums. I took more guitar lessons. I got involved with every musical project I could. Middle school was a very defining moment for me because I had a great music teacher, this guy, Fred Rosamondo.
Nice. Yeah,
so
a lot of times there's that, that one
he was that guy.
Shining light. Yeah.
Yeah,
nice.
He was that guy. And he played everything, and I thought that was amazing. Like, he could play drums, he could play guitar, piano, flute, sax, you name it. He knew how to play it. And I was like, I want to be like that guy. But I got involved with every possible band I could, from the marching bands to the stage band playing an upright bass, to string ensembles playing an upright bass, playing drums for the concert and marching bands. And I just kind of took it from there into high school, and then just got more into rock and roll and more in guitar, and just kind of been at it ever since.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you've never looked back?
No. I remember friends in high school saying to me, like, I'm so jealous, you know what you want to do. I don't know what I want to do. And I guess I was a little lucky. I was blessed with that. I've always wanted to play music. I know some people can kind of frown upon it as looking on it or doing it as a job, but I enjoy it. So
yeah,
it's fun.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, if you can make it happen,
yeah,
make it happen.
On a train takes forever. Another stop here and wherever all these other people go. We'll take good time playing in the city. But something here within me just can't wait to get on home. When you're on my mind, now I'm on the road. I know I'll never be alone. You are the reason why I'm coming back around. You make me want to settle down. Hotel windows, living from a suitcase. Like the folks in this place, I sure do miss the ones back home. Miles of highways, some bit more familiar. I don't remember what the words were, but they always bring me home. When you're on my mind, now I'm on the road. I know I'll never be alone. You are the reason why I'm coming back around. You make me want to settle down. Oh, just another 100 miles until the borderline. We got all this time. Oh, just another few more hours until the day. Reason why I'm coming back around. You make me want to settle down. You are the reason why I'm coming back around. You make me want to settle down.
When did the writing start?
I think the writing technically started in middle school. I was
So in the midst of all those other bands and concert band and marching band and
I was. I think probably at that point I was listening to a lot of Motley Crue, and that was just the popular music of that generation, of that time. But it influenced me to pick up and try to express myself. Like, what do I want to say? Because I wasn't into sports, and I liked academics, but I wasn't a mathlete. And music just always spoke to me, but I didn't have an outlet to express myself or get my frustrations out. I wasn't like the cool kid, so songwriting just kind of came naturally to me. It was my way of saying, hey, this is me. This is my identity, and I just stuck with it.
Nice. So when did you swing from, band oriented? Because now, I mean, typically you play solo, right?
Most of the time I play solo. I had bands from high school till about my 20s, my late 20s. I mean, technically, I still play with a drummer, this guy Nick DeRico, he's awesome, and a bass player, this guy Jeff Burnham. Jeff is actually a songwriter, and I play drums for him. So there's little cross-pollination.
Very cool.
But I had serious bands. I had a prog rock band from my late teens into my early 20s, and then I graduated into a party band, cover band type thing. And then I started getting back into more of the songwriting thing, and I had a band for 5 or 6 years called Green Inside. You know, and the players had changed throughout the years, as most bands do. They never stick together. But when that band ended in the early 2000s, the bass player then had just suggested to me, like, you should just call yourself Seth Adam and then get a Rolodex of players. And I thought that was a good idea, but in hindsight it wasn't. So I ended up putting another band together under the moniker Seth Adam. And then that kind of fizzled out. And then by that point, it was like the 2012, 2013. By that point, I was like, I'm done with bands. I'm not going to try to hold it together anymore because
See, it's got to be complicated, schedules and egos and, you know, personalities and...
Luckily, I didn't have any ego problems.
No, good.
It was more like the scheduling.
Yeah,
problems.
scheduling can be rough.
Yeah. At the time of the third record that I put out, the drummer and his brother, they had a construction business. So they were really busy with their projects, and the guitar player got remarried and was having another kid, and it just all kind of like fizzled. And I just took it as a sign to get back into some wood shedding and start utilizing a looper, which I actually got into accidentally, which is a whole other story. But but the whole idea of just, you know, how can I be really good or as best as I can be just by myself? Because it's a lot easier for scheduling purposes. I don't have to check with anyone.
Right.
Accessibility, you know, there's a lot more places you can play solo than a band. So, but it has its inherent set of challenges. Number one, I get really lonely on the drives.
The drives.
Even
Well, you travel, like we were talking earlier, I mean, you travel a lot. You're, I mean, you know, off to New York and Massachusetts, and, you know, that's, so those are some drives.
They are. I don't mind them so much. It gives me a chance to get into some deep Zen thought, I guess you could say. But you know, it's trying. I almost equate being a songwriter / musician as being a politician in a way, because you need to bring your message to as many people as possible and connect with as many people as possible. For many musicians, the way to do that is to go out and tour or play in other markets. So that's really where that all came about. It's just trying to grow the concentric circles.
A sublime subversion, and the trickling time hastens me to say that this intrusion of my delusions only make me wish you'd seek out better ways. While I recognize the sentiment of sorrow on your face, don't disregard the things I have to say. If you don't push me, then I won't hold you. If you don't tread me, I won't crawl over to people strung out on sadness together. Oh, and I can't take the rise and fall, so don't push or pull me at all. You spent a lifetime feeling so fine, and regrets are only words that have no place. And it's a fine line with all your pride, and I wish that you would hear just what I say. While I recognize the sentiment of sorrow on your face, don't disregard the things I have to say. If you don't push me, then I won't bore you. If you don't trip me, I won't crawl over to people struggling out on sadness together. Oh, and I can't take the rise and fall, so don't push or pull me at all. You don't push me, then I won't pull you. If you don't trip me, I won't crawl over to people struggling out on sadness together. Oh, and I can't take the rise, I can't take the rise and fall. So don't you push me or pull me at all.
I mean, you mentioned, more than one album. What's the discography look like, and if folks wanted to find it, how would they track it down?
So let's see. It really starts with the Green Inside record, Left at the Prom, because that's when I felt like I really started to truly understand songwriting. Although I would argue you never really understand songwriting because it's always a mystery. But that's when I started getting more confident with my songwriting. And then from there, as that transitioned into the Seth Adam project, I put a record out called Where You Come From. That was in 2007, 2008. I put out a second record called Amplify in 2010, a third record called Steel Tempered Pride. That was in 2013. I'm trying to remember all these things. 2013. In 2016, I started toying around with recording myself, like a home studio kind of situation. So we put out an EP called East Rock. And then the last full-length record I did was 2022. That's called Fits and Starts and Stops. And that I did top to bottom completely by myself. Well, I should say there's one song I had a guest drummer play on, and I had two guest guitar solos appeared on there. But everything else, all the mixing, the mastering, the recording, the drumming, all the instruments I did by myself.
Nice.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy to do it all.
Yeah. And where do we find them?
Oh, they're all on the streaming services, the Spotify's, the Apple Music's, Bandcamp.
Okay. So now do you have, how about if they want to find you on tour?
SethAdam.com. All the tour dates are there.
That's an easy one.
Yeah.
Very cool. So you also have a podcast, which I noticed some names kind of overlap between who we've had on here and who you've had on there. You want to tell us a little bit about your podcast? Because I haven't actually gotten to listen to one of them yet. I found them.
Yeah.
But
so I was saying before, around 2018, 2019, I stopped hosting an open mic night. And I hosted various open mic nights through the years, and that was kind of my way of giving back to my local music community. It was something I took very seriously, as I was saying. And when I stopped doing it, I stumbled upon the Marc Maron show on Netflix. And I understood that he was a podcaster, but I didn't know he had a sitcom as well on Netflix. But I looked at his model of having people on and just having a conversation. And I thought, I should do that, but just with musicians. I know a ton of people, and it'd be fun. It would be my way, once again, of helping to give back to the musical community at large. So I had already built a little studio space in our old house, so I just had people come over and we talked about music and their songwriting and what inspires them, etc. And I still do it. I'm not as consistent as I would like to be, but I'm trying to be.
It's good to have goals.
Yeah.
Good to have goals.
Dust is in the field, the ghosts are passing by it. The slow motion scenery. Not long ago, this was a vivid animation for all American of dreams. But days aren't always kind, they burn through hesitation, leaves you holding hollow years. And before you know, another winter's over, but the spring is never here. Out of time, it's just on the horizon. Out of luck, it's harder than it seems. Out of work, I wouldn't say to try it. Out of touch is what I feel. Please listen. We practice our routines in daily preparation for unknown anomalies, and still believe in some goodness of a nation rife with conspiracies. And now we're steeped in fear, unfortunate misfortune, when we're all just standing still. I just want to work, providing for the family. I wonder if I ever will again. Ooh, out of time, it's just on the horizon. Out of luck, it's harder than it seems. Out of work, I wouldn't say to try it. Out of touch is what I feel. No, I'll never take so much for granted, I promise. promise. Oh, I promise. Oh, I'll never take so much for granted again. Time is just on the horizon. Out of luck, it's harder than it seems. Out of work, I wouldn't dare to try it. Out of touch is what I feel. Please listen. Listen. Ooh, please listen. Please listen.
All right, thank you once again for watching, and remember, you are the local in the local music scene, so please get out there and see a show. Look up the Shoreline Music Monthly news piece on musical bridges. That's going to be in August. It's going to be a blast. It always is. And remember, on Facebook, we have our weekend guide where you can find out who all is playing around. Until then, get out and see a show. We'll see you next month.